All right, welcome back to WMAC Now with your host Chuck Stevenson, coming at you with a double fight review. For this one, we're going to Tokyo, Japan for Shooto Colors Volume 4. That's Shooto's offshoot of all women's fights. We're going to the co-main and the main event, both in the Atomweight division, the finals of the Shooto Infinity League Atomweight tournament. Now, this is a round robin style tournament I've talked about in previous videos. And round robin, each fighter has to face each of the other fighters in the tournament one time. And then, depending on how you win a fight, is however many points you get. So if you get a first round finish, 4 points. A second round finish, I believe, is or a finish in second or third round would be like 3 points. A decision is 2 points. And I think a draw or a bye is 1 point. Of course, there were no buys in this tournament because there was only 4 fighters this time. Now, coming into the fight, 2 of the fighters were tied at 4 points each. Sayon Park and Ayane Hirata. Now, if Park were to get a win here and get enough points, she won it outright. Hirata wouldn't even have a chance to tie as long as Park came away ahead on points. Now, for Hirata, she absolutely needed a first round finish, and then she had to hope that Park didn't also meet that, because then she would win by points. Because if it were to tie after this, like if they both had the same amount of points after this, because Park would have 3 straight wins, Park would win outright because she had already beaten Hirata earlier. All right, so let's get into the co-main event. Sayon Park coming in at 4-4, taking on Mikiko Hiyama, coming in at 0 and I believe that's 15. So Mikiko Hiyama was basically the gimme fight for each fighter in this tournament, and it absolutely showed it in this fight. So let's get into it. All right, first round starts. Park lands an immediate low kick. Another kick to the body by Park. Hiyama grabbed for the clinch, but Park managed to duck under, landed a suplex to side control. So picked Hiyama up, threw her down, straight into side control. From there, Park grabbed Hiyama's right arm and stretched it. She was working for the arm bar. Didn't get it right away, so she kind of like twisted it sideways, almost like instead of like going for like the hyperextension, just said, well, let me bend her arm sideways. And Hiyama cried out in pain and tapped out. So your winner, Sayon Park, via submission due to armbar, 32 seconds of the first round. So with that, Park got another 4 points, bringing her total to 8 and 3 straight wins, clinching the Infinity League title, basically. Yeah, I kind of came into this expecting Park to win, but I didn't think it would be that quick. Wow, I mean, that was just so fast. Hiyama stood no chance of winning in this fight. I honestly believe that. Like I said, she was the gimme, but 32 seconds. That really surprised me from Sayon Park. Really happy for her. I sponsored her in this fight. She had a bit of a tough career to start out with. She was fighting fighters that she shouldn't have been fighting at all, like either way too experienced or up a weight class. That's why she came into this fight at 4-4. But this year she really turned it around with 3 straight wins against opponents that were more closer to her level in this tournament. And it shows that, the right matchmaking can really help a fighter. As far as things to work on, don't really have anything. I mean, it was over that quick. For fights to make, well, I'll be honest. Let's start with Mikiko Hiyama. She's 45 years old, and her record dropped to 0-16. It's time for her to retire here. I mean, there's no point in continuing to take damage for very little pay in Japanese promotions when you have no chance. I mean, if she does it just for the fun of it, okay, fine, that's cool. I mean, Lord knows she can't be doing it for the money. So I would retire. But I do respect her for at least, loving the sport so much that she keeps doing this. For Sion Park, she actually already has another fight booked this weekend at Road FC. One of the fighters in the title fight, in the Atomweight title fight, dropped out. And so she stepped in on like 4 days' notice. That'll be this Sunday, December 29th at Road FC, so check that out. Now we move into the main event. Ayane Hirata coming in at 3-1, taking on Noeru, NOEL, Narita coming in at 1-1. Battle of teenagers here. Hirata's 19, Narita's 16. Both fighters had lost to Sion Park while beating Mikiko Hiyama. So they each came into this final with 1-1 in the tournament. But Hirata had a chance to, before Park's fight, had a chance to either tie Park or get more points, at least. Anyway, starting the first round, Hirata rushed across the ring, landed a front kick to the stomach. Now, Narita clinched her, getting an underhook, and from there they exchanged positions a few times in the corner of the ring. Eventually led to a referee separation. Hirata came forward again, threw some punches, backed out. Again, she came forward throwing some punches and clinched. They both exchanged knees in the corner of the ring again. Might have been the same corner, I think. Some more knees were thrown. Hirata threw down some old school foot stomps. Then she landed a really nice knee to the body and then punch to the head combination in the clinch. And Hirata was doing really well here. She was keeping good positioning. She was the shorter fighter, so she was able to keep her head lower than Narita's and use that to control the positioning. She was doing a good job there. More knees were thrown by each. Ref decided they had been clinched up long enough. Hirata threw a kick to the upper body. Narita caught that and grabbed it, held on, and tripped Hirata down to the ground. Hirata threw up an armbar attempt, but Narita got out of it. From there, Narita was in side control. Now Hirata turtled up, and Narita started throwing punches to the head of the turtled Hirata. So Hirata decided she was going to stand up. But as Hirata stood, Narita latched on the standing rear naked choke. Had it locked in as they were standing. Narita basically pulled backwards, falling to the ground with Hirata in check. And the choke got even tighter, and Hirata went unconscious with seconds left in the round. So Noeru, NOEL, Narita is your winner via submission due to rear naked choke. 4 minutes, 55 seconds of the first round. So we went from having a tie coming into this tournament to completely different standings at the end, because Park pulled ahead with 8 points to finish it, and Narita, who only had 2 points coming into this, came away with another 4 points for the first round submission, giving her 6 and taking second place in the Infinity League tournament. This is a big turnaround for Narita. I had her down. I had her losing the fight before she caught that kick and landed the takedown. So she really turned it around in that last minute or so. Now, I will say that this was definitely a much better fight than the previous one, just because they were evenly matched, or fairly evenly matched. Both fighters, I think, show a skill that belies their ages. Like I said, NOEL Narita is 16, Ayane Hirata is 19. So both, I would say, for being so young, they look like more experienced fighters than what they are. So the future for the Shooto Atomweight division is looking good with those two in hand. So there you have it. It was a good tournament, good results. I actually sponsored Soyeon Park for this fight, and she ended up winning. So I was really happy for her. You never know what's going to happen in MMA tournaments, even when it seems like the results are practically a foregone conclusion. You just never know. So I was happy for Soyeon to win. What else did I want to say? Can't wait to see what happens next in Shooto. This is their fourth edition of the all women's events that they call Colors. I'd say that these two fights were the best on the card. And I like the Infinity League tournaments. They've done an atomweight one before. They did either super atomweight at 110 pounds or strawweight at 115 last year. I can't remember which they did. They brought it back to atomweight this year, and they focused on, lesser experienced, lower level fighters. And I think that was a good idea, especially with the round robin tournament. It's not just a bracket where, sometimes it's the luck of the draw or it depends on the matchmaking. In a round robin format, you're going to face each fighter in the tournament. And then styles make fights, and how you win depends on how well you do in the tournament. So I like this format better. It takes longer, I would say, or it can take longer, especially usually they have an odd number of people so that each fighter gets a bye, and that usually draws it out across more than 3 events, usually does 4 or 5 events. But either way, whether it's an odd number or an even number, I like the round robin style because it gives each fighter the same amount of fights and helps them gain experience. So I like that. I hope Shooto continues to do it. They do it with the men too. I forget what division they did this year. But congrats to Soyeon Park and congrats to Noeru, Narita. Both very nice wins here. The fights are available on a Wmma TV. If you want to watch them, they're free as single fights, but you have to have your VPN switch turned on to Japan because it's region blocked. If you get a chance to watch them, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up button, and while you're at it, go and subscribe to WMMAC Now, the best, most complete women's mixed martial arts dedicated platform on YouTube. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.